to the Masterpiece Academy's digital SAT presentation. So today you're going to learn about what's new in the digital SAT prep. Here at the Masterpiece, we believe that every student is a masterpiece in the making. We assess first, and then we plan instruction based on your student's potential, and then we start training, and your students will start learning with us if you choose to be with us in your journey. We're going to talk about the 4 C's, the changes, the competencies, the curriculum, and the classes that we offer. Okay. So we're going to talk about the changes in math, the changes in SAT reading and writing. The essay will be a separate component because it's, for purposes of time, we wanted to make this to be short. So linear SAT, this is basically the pen and paper. The College Board has generously provided for full-length practice test. But then don't be confused because the linear SAT has 33 items per module. You will see that reading and writing has 2 modules and math has 2 modules. And you will see the timings. It's 39 minutes per module for reading and writing. And then math has 43 minutes per module. In the digital SAT, there are 2 pre-tests per module. So that means in reading and writing, you will notice that there are 27 items per module there. 2 are pre-tests, so 25 items are operational. And the timing is 32 minutes per module. And the same thing with math. There are 2 pre-tests per module, so 20 items are operational in math. And your student needs to answer that in 35 minutes per module. So the new digital SAT is called multi-stage adaptive design. So that means your student will encounter equal amount of easy, medium, and hard questions in first module. And then that means in the second module, they will, the questions adapt based on their performance. So if your student has answered more difficult questions, that means he or she will encounter more difficult questions in module 2. And of course, the scores will adjust. If you answered more difficult questions, the weight of that will be higher. Okay, so the implication of that for instruction and for learning and for preparation is basically to challenge yourself and try to answer harder questions. And in SAT, the passages level are varied from 12th grade all the way to adult. And you wanted to challenge yourself to at least answer adult level type of passages and questions. Okay. So in 2024, starting March 9, everything will be digital for those students who are here in the United States and international. And for these reasons, we want your students to start practicing on the Blue Book. And because with the Blue Book, we wanted your students to be familiarized with the student tools there. And of course, you wanted to simulate and to map the actual testing environment. You wanted to be familiar with what the Blue Book offer. Okay. So start signing up in the Blue Book as soon as possible. Okay. For the SAT reading and writing, it's multidisciplinary. All the passages will come from these different types of disciplines. And then these are the domains of the SAT reading and writing. And in the class, we will zoom in more on what information and ideas mean. But also, when you go to our catalog and then click on the lesson tab, you will see that the information, we zoom in on each domain and there are skill builders per domain. You will see that the lessons are very comprehensive. Okay, and these are the distribution of the domains. Notice that the craft and structure has 28% distribution. That means your student will encounter more questions in craft and structure. Okay. In SAT math, your student will encounter some science passages there and real world application of math problems and social science problems. Okay. And these are the domains for SAT math. And the same thing with reading and writing, your math teacher will explain it to you. And if you look at our lessons, you will notice that there's a lot of practice tests and skill building on each domain before they move on to the full-length practice test. We ensure that your student is capable on each domain. Okay, and these are the distributions. Notice that the algebra and advanced math have equal amount of, you know, about the same amount of questions, 35% each. And these are the, same things that, these are the same things, the text complexities and multidisciplinary approach of SAT in the digital and the old SAT still the same. Okay, the command of evidence is still the same. Your student still needs to do textual and quantitative. They need to have high vocabulary words and some context clues strategies. They need to learn that as well. And then revising and editing, especially the writing composition, still needs to be solid. For math, still multiple choice. There is still student produced response. That means your student, instead of writing it down, they have to type up their answers on the blank on the digital blue book. Math problems are still in context and out of context. And then the math rigor still prepares them for college. Okay, so these are some of the changes. You'll notice that the passages are shorter. Calculators are now allowed in both modules of math, and you'll get faster results. Rather than weeks, you'll get like results in days, and it's much more secure this time. Okay, and these are our services. What distinguishes us from others is, the teachers. You want to entrust your student, your child, with curriculum developers and licensed educators. It's just like at home when something is going on with your home, and if it's like electrical, you wanted to contact a licensed electrician. So it's the same thing with your child. So you want licensed educators because the perspective and just the content and the teaching pedagogies of educators are different than the one who's just like teaching it, okay, who are not educators. We have comprehensive lessons and the skills are targeted. Especially, I challenge you to go to look at our lessons. It's adaptive. It's simulation. Our dashboard is adaptive as well. It's kind of like mock test of the real test. It's individualized. I mean, we monitor your students' progress. We combined, resources. We have Khan Academic classrooms, and we use resources from College Board. We created our own modules as well. You have simulated practice. All the test content format and test language is patterned after the College Board, and we make sure that the skills and the strategies are geared towards that. We really zoom in on the test taking skills, test strategy, and test content of the student. Okay, and then our grouping is flexible and dynamic, and that's very different from others who are tracking. Okay, tracking is not healthy, it's not research based, and it's damaging to the student. When when someone is tracking, other test prep are tracking. That means they assess and then they put your students into sections, which are damaging. It's basically like labeling. The Stanford University research termed it psychological prisons because they are stuck in one section based on their abilities, and it's the total opposite of adaptive. Okay, so beware of that. Our classes are you can choose from in-person, live, online, or self-paced based on your availability, on your resources, and your schedule. And these are kind of like a preview of the SAT reading and writing lessons. You notice that we really zoom in on each skill, and those red question marks, those are skill builders. Those are quizzes and practice tests. Okay. Um, yes, so you will see that it's very comprehensive. And then on top of that, we look at, we give your students additional practice tests if needed. Okay, and these are the preview of our lessons for math. Okay, for scoring, SAT scoring, it's still the same. It's 1600 if you notice that SAT at the bottom is still 1600, and it's 10 in intervals of 10. And for each module, it's 800 per module, so total of 1600. And then this is the equivalent of PSAT 10, PSAT and MSQT for 11th grade and 10th grade. And the top one, the top row is the PSAT 8 and 9. Okay, so you can see the scales, the total score scales and the section score scales per category. Okay, so we are now open for enrollment, and your student will have different teachers in math and reading and writing. It's very specialized, so only math teachers teach math, and licensed teachers teach math, and math specialists designed our curriculum. English teachers, reading and writing teachers, and literacy teachers design the reading and writing and the essay. Okay, so hope to see you soon.